Good evening, guys. Thanks for stopping by. Look, it's late in the afternoon. I've been out today testing out these super cheap recovery tracks that were sent out to me by Super Cheap for the purpose of the test. I didn't have to pay for these ones. So we went out with the purpose of getting the cars bogged, either the Pajero or the Prado or both. In the end, we ended up getting the Pajero, let's just say, stuck, and it took a little bit of effort. We tried a winch, we tried the recovery tracks, and it ended up just like a basic snatchback would ended up working. But we certainly put these through their paces. If you want to see how these recovery tracks from Super Cheap worked out, come along and have a look. Alright, so we've managed to get the Pajero stuck with lots of help from Stephen and digging. It didn't want to get stuck, but we're in there now. So we dug some holes to get it down. It's pretty well down there. There is some air under there, but we'll see how we go. Need down further than the front though. Alright, so I'm just going to try. I suppose that works. Don't want to make it too easy for it though. We'll just stick those in. But in the end, that's what we're left with. So they've dug in a little bit on both sides. There's Stephen's hole, so it wasn't buried completely. It was just too hard to get it stuck. They are buried in there though. And it took a bit of right foot to get it to engage with it and pull them under, I think. As soon as they went under, it should come straight out, so that's pretty good. What do you think, Stephen? They work alright?
I reckon we need to get you bogged again.
Where?
We'll have to find somewhere.
Okay, alright. Well, let's do it. Let's go and find somewhere else to get stuck. Just a further testing. We've come over here. I found a bit of a hill. Managed to get the Pajero stuck. We've dug that in, took it out of four-wheel drive, got it dug in and give it a bootful. So we're stuck there. And Stephen's stuck the Prado over there. Some footage of it in gear, just to show you what it's doing without the tracks on it. I think I'm going to try and get this one up the hill. We can certainly get it out backwards, but I wanted to see whether these tracks are going to help me go up, make the challenge a little bit better. I'm going to try the rear diff lock, see what happens. Now I'll try the traction control back on the front. See what happens. Getting it down there. Okay. Oh yeah, she's on her guts.
Yep, you're on belly.
You're pretty well down. I was thinking I was going to still try and get it to go up. I'm thinking, oh, look at me, mud flaps. There's our mud flaps there, basically sitting straight up. A little bit of clearance. So that is in there, and as you saw, playing with the rear diff lock and some of the traction control, she didn't want to come out. Not trying to do a lot of prep work, so we can let the recovery tracks do most of it. See what happens. Stephen's doing some shovel work as per a proper recovery. I'm going to give him a fair shot, I suppose, but we'll see how we go. No, we could probably recover it out backwards, but we want to try and get it up the hill. Yeah, worst case scenario type stuff. So we're still digging, just trying to do a bit of work. We're all good. No, we're all good, mate. We're just playing around with some stuff.
Yeah, right.
Do it easy. Thanks, mate.
Nah, it's just spinning on him. Get yourself out backwards.
I reckon this might be it.
You're stuck, Brett.
What? What's coming up?
I think you're on your bellies and that's causing your grief.
Yeah, I think so. Alright, let's get you out and get you up there so I can winch off you, eh? So our track recovery has turned into a winch recovery. So we'll move you back so you can get a better view of this. Turn the camera around, because this is now a snatch recovery. At least we hope it's a snatch recovery.
And the Prado to the rescue.
So well and truly in there and stuck, Stephen.
That's alright.
We buried it probably a little bit further than I probably had to.
X marks the spots where your belly was sitting.
Yeah, right there, mate, right there. He's pulling out the Aldi brands, and here's our super cheapies down here. And they did well in the other test, but this one was just beyond even the two sets. So you can see how far in they were down. Just having a quick look at our super cheap tracks. We've burnt off one of the knobs here, and I didn't spin that much, but we did spin on them. You can see that's meant to be this one here. So yeah, we took one of these off. Everything else seems to be okay, and they held up. I'm pretty happy with those. I think your best bit of recovery gear rather than tracks is one of these things. Bring a mate, and if you haven't got a mate, bring a Stephen.
Just bring a Toyota.
Shut up. So we can't say that we didn't give him a fair crack to get me up that hill. It just didn't work. So thanks to the Prado over there, did pretty well. Yeah, probably could have lowered pressures, a whole bunch of stuff, but we're trying to make it pretty hard on the tracks to see whether they're going to work. We tried the full set, we tried digging. Ultimately, it was just on its guts over here, and you know, it was probably never going to work. So, especially heading uphill. Anyway, we wanted to test how far we could push them, and I guess we found out. So, on flat, yeah, a normal bog. I was trying to get myself stuck in, and unfortunately, once I got to that point where I was stuck in, and I just kept pushing, just kept digging in. So there's an example where you definitely need that second car, where tracks just aren't going to work, any sort of recovery tracks aren't going to work. So no fault of the super cheap ones that we're out here testing today. But that's just the way it is, and luckily we got it out. But again, we gave them every chance to work. It was a scenario sort of out of their reach, and we had to go with that. We haven't tried the winch, as you saw, but the car at the top was just digging in. And I was starting to pull it downhill. I'm going to let Steve do some tidying up over here. Again, thanks to Supercheap for sending these out to me for the purpose of the review. I really appreciate that. It was fun. It got me out here on the beach, and you know, got us having a bit of fun and having a bit of practice, which I guess is what it's all about, getting out and enjoy it. So again, thanks to Supercheap. Thanks to everybody who's come along. Thanks to all the subscribers who have come on board recently. Appreciate the support. And if you're new to the channel and you haven't subscribed yet, I appreciate it if you did. If you want to see more of this type of content, and you know, plenty of other views on how-tos and all that sort of stuff. So I'll talk to you all soon. Thanks for coming along, and we'll catch you on the next one.